Assalamu alaikum and a very pleasant morning, girls. Today we are going to see "O Captain, My Captain" by Walt Whitman. Poetry explanation. Okay. Here, "O Captain, My Captain" by Walt Whitman. The poem is taken from Walt Whitman's first collection of poems, Leaves of Grass. In the previous class, I told you about introduction, that is biography of Walt Whitman, right? Yes or no? In that I have mentioned that Leaves of Grass is his first collection of poem. Okay, in that collection of poetry, he has taken, that is "O Captain, My Captain" is one of that. Okay, which is published in the year 1855 and updated till in the year 1890s. Whitman became a famous American poet in his own time. That is, in his time, that is in the 19th century, he was a famous American poet. Themes of poems in Leaves of Grass is love, politics, nature, and travel. Okay, he then continually revised, edited, and added to his collection until the early 90s, that is 1890s. Is it clear, ma? Okay. Whitman also wrote a lot about his country, that is about his country, that is America, USA. Many poems of the time celebrated the United States with all its struggles as a young and forming nation. He has written a lot about his country. Okay, Whitman's poem represents those struggles about the Civil War better than any other American poet. That is, in his poetry collection, in his poems, he used to write about the struggles about when the Civil War had happened that time. Okay, no one has written like that. Okay, although Whitman never fought in the war, he was closely involved as a caretaker for the wounded. Caretaker for the wounded. That is, as a nurse, he served. Right? Okay. He also worked as a journalist for newspaper. Is that clear, ma? Okay. Here in this poetry, that is "O Captain, My Captain," the American president Abraham Lincoln was assassinated on April 14, 1865, just 5 days after the end of a civil war. Abraham Lincoln was the true hero of American people. Okay, he was very generous, kind person. Okay, he strived hard to abolish slavery in America. Okay, he worked hard to abolish, that is to remove, okay, slavery in America. He was Whitman's real hero. Okay, and very here in this poetry, that is "O Captain, My Captain," is about Abraham Lincoln. Okay, he was Whitman's real hero and very dear to him. Okay, Whitman became very depressed as his hero passed away. Okay, he became very depressed. To mourn the loss of his president, that is, to show his feeling about the loss of his president, mourning. That is, he is feeling for. He is very sorrowful about. He is sad. Okay, Whitman wrote "O Captain, My Captain." Is it clear? Okay. The poem is an elegy. Elegy, I told you that it is about someone's death. Okay, we are writing for someone's death. It is called elegy, which is uses the extended metaphor. He also wrote "When Lilies Last in the Dooryard Bloomed," which is a long poem in the form of an elegy on the death of Abraham Lincoln. Is it clear, ma? Okay. O captain, my captain. O captain, my captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every wreck, the prize we sought has won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting. While follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel green and daring. But, oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. Here, this is the poetical lines. This is the first stanza of the poetry. Here you can see there is no rhyme scheme, okay, and there is no order. Okay, he used to write like free words. Okay, in the previous class I told you, right, how he used to write. Okay, the first stanza, the first line he starts with, O captain, my captain, our fearful trip is done. Here there is, O captain, my captain, our fearful trip is done. Fearful, that is fear, dread, or terror. Okay. The ship has withered face and withstands with courage. Every wreck, the prize we sought is won. The speaker is shouting out to his captain. Okay, here in the poem, the speaker is shouting to his captain, that is, O captain, that they have finally made it home after a frightening trip. Okay, they were on a ship that survived or withered. Withered? That is, withstand with courage. Strong winds, that is, racks. They are probably tired after such a struggling voyage, but apparently they have succeeded in their mission, or what the speaker calls their prize. Whatever this mission or prize was, we know that it was not easy to get. Here, the speaker is shouting to his captain as, O captain, we have reached to the end and we have won after the struggle. Okay, we have won and it is not a easy job. Okay, whatever this mission or prize was, we know it was not easy to get it, but we have won that. Okay, the third line, the port is near, the bells I hear, the people are exulting, while follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. Here, in these lines, here the ship has withered every rag, the prize we sought is won. Here, in this image, you can easily understand that what the speaker is telling. The port is near. The port is near, that is, we are reaching. The bells I hear here, that it is something we are near. Okay, the people are exulting. Exult, feel extreme happiness or elation. Okay, the people are very happy to receive us. Okay, while follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. Steady, securely in position. Grim, harshly uninviting. Okay, the speaker is very happy that he is telling to his to his captain that we are near. Okay, we are near to the port, that is, to an end, and I can hear the bell sound that people are making. Okay, and he is feeling very happy, cheerful. Okay, so the speaker is a sailor on the ship, and the ship isn't just yet safe in the harbor, which would be a good place to safely park a boat. But the boat is in sight of the land, and there are people on the shore cheering and ringing church bells as they approach. That is, the people who are waiting to receive them, they are very happy and cheering them, okay, as ringing the church bells as they are approaching. The people on the shore watch the boat come in. Okay, although keel usually refers to a ridge that goes along the underside of the board. It can also refer to the board as a whole, and as it does in the line 4, that is the steady keel, that is securely in position. Okay. In contrast to the happy people on land, the boat is described like a ghost ship, that is grim and daring. The speaker is foreshadowing, that is he is telling, okay, that is foreshadowing before happening, we are told, okay, subtly telling the reader in advance that something is going to happen and it isn't going to be pretty. That is, he is telling that it will not be a good thing. Okay, he is telling in advance. The next line, but oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. Here in this line, he says that to his heart, that his heart is bleeding drop of red, and he says that his captain is lying fallen cold, that is his body has become cold and now he is dead. The sailor calls out again, but this time it isn't for the captain. Okay, now he's calling, that is, but oh heart, he's calling to himself. Okay, he belts out the word heart, and this could mean that he's shouting out to his captain to keep heart, as in not give up, okay, or his own heart, as if in pain. Okay, that, whether we can think that he is telling to the captain to please don't give up, or either we can think that he is in great pain, that the speaker is in great pain, so that he is telling to his own heart. Okay, we think you can read this either way. Okay, if you read in the first way with the heart representing the captain's will, then you are dealing with a symbol, as some part of the captain's is used to represent an abstract quality, that is his will or courage. If you read in the second way, that though and think the speaker is calling out to his own heart, then you have got an apostrophe on your hand, friends. Oh, that is, this is a call an abstract thing that can't possibly answer back. That is, in this line we can take it in two ways. That is, first thing is he is representing the captain, and he is telling to the captain to please do not give up, and to be courageous he is telling. And the second thing is he is telling to his own self, and he is telling that he is in, and in the second way he is talking to his own heart, as if he is in a pain, okay, which is not be answered. It declares to speaker from the heart, but really heart have no mouth, so they don't speak very well. When you think heart, so do you think blood? It turns out that there is a lot of it here. All of a sudden, drops of blood are on the deck of the ship, and the speaker notices that his captain is dead. That is, fallen cold. His body has become cold. Is it clear? Understood, ma? Okay, the first paragraph, the first stanza is finished. Now, the second stanza. Again, oh captain, my captain. There is a refrain, we can say. Refrain means that is a repeated lines. Okay, oh captain, my captain, raise up and hear the bells. Here in the second stanza, as he comes to know that in the first stanza last line that his body has become cold and he's dead, Now he is again calling his captain, calling to his captain that, "Oh captain, please raise up and hear the bells." Okay, which is making noise. We can hear that the people are that is cheering. Okay, and he's telling that, "Please hear the bells. Raise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills." That is, the speaker is asking his captain to raise up. That is, his captain to raise up. That is, he wants him to wake up from the dead, and he's telling him that, "For you only the flag has flung." Okay, for you only the bugle trills. That is the music. Okay, and for you bouquets and ribboned wreaths, for you the shores are crowding. Now the speaker is telling to his captain that, "For you only the people has gathered to receive you, and for you only they brought bouquets for you, and the ribbons are for you, and the crowded shore in the shore they are crowding." That is, the people has come there to receive the captain. He is telling that, "Please raise up for them. It is for you only," he is telling. Here, in the second stanza, that is, "O captain, my captain, raise up and hear the bells. Raise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills, for you the bouquets and ribbon wreaths, for you the shores are crowding. For you they call the swaying mass, their eager faces turning." Okay, the sailor comes to the dead captain's side and begs him to raise again. He is pleading that, "Please raise again," because the speaker is addressing someone who can no longer respond to him. That is, he is addressing to the dead body. Okay, who will not reply his questions. Okay, and why should the captain reanimated his dead self? Well, the speaker says that all the people on the shore are cheering for the captain. The sailor lists the ways in which the people are celebrating. That is, they are raising the flag, playing horns, holding flowers, and calling out to the captain. It's a real hula bulla. That is, they are cheering. Okay, they are very happy to receive the captain. To say that the crowd has eager faces, they are very eager to see the captain. It is not just their faces that are eager, really. Their faces are used to represent the whole of their excited attitude towards the captain. They think he is a righteous dude. That is, he is a very generous person, kind person. The people who are waiting in the show, they are cheering, they are holding flowers on their hand, and they are calling out the captain like that. They are making sounds, okay, in excitement attitude, okay, towards the captain. So because they thinks that the people thinks that he is a righteous person, that is a kind, generous person. Is it clear, ma? Okay, can you get my points, girls? Okay, then, "Here, captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head." It is some dream that on the deck you have fallen cold and dead. My captain did not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. Here, in this, he becomes very sad and says, "Here, captain, dear father." He is telling to the captain as, "Dear father, this arm beneath your head It is so dream that on the deck you have fallen cold and dead. The sailor takes the dead captain in his arms. He is taking the dead body in his arm and calls the captain as father. Although the man probably isn't really his father, that is, he is not his father, but the speaker thinks that he is the real hero and he calls him as a father. Still, the speaker has intense feeling for this man whose head is on his arm. That's probably not a relaxing position to lie in, but sadly, the captain doesn't feel there is comfort. The speaker says he must be dreaming. He can't accept the reality that the captain died just as they reached home. Now, the speaker is telling that he is not at all accepting the reality. He is thinking that as if he must be dreaming. Okay, that his captain has died. Okay, he is not accepting the reality. Because after a lot of struggle, they reach to their home. That is, they are going to be. But the captain has died now, just as they reached home. Is it clear, ma? Can you get my points? Okay. Here, the second stanza finishes. Last, that is the third and the final stanza. Here, in the third stanza, my captain does not answer. My captain does not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip, the victor ship comes in with object won. In the third stanza, the speaker is very sad and says that my captain does not answer. That is, he is talking to the dead body. How a dead body can answer? And his feeling for that, and he says that his lips are pale and still. That is, his lips has become pale and still. That is, he stopped, not moving. Okay. My father does not feel my arm. As the speaker takes his head into his arm, and he says that my father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. That is, he is not breathing. The dead captain, unsurprisingly, does not respond to the sailor's cries. Okay, yes, of course. How can a dead body can answer? Okay, the speaker focuses on the captain's lips to represent his general state of death, that is, pale and still. Again, the captain is referred to the speaker's father, underscoring their bond. That is, he is very close to him. He is calling him as a father. Sadly, the color has left the captain's face. The captain's face, and he has no pulse here. Will means the ability to do something like move or stand or walk. Okay, is it clear, ma? Now, the ship is anchored safe. Anchored, it is stopped, and sound, its voyage closed and done. That is, its travel has closed and done. From fearful trip, the victor ship comes in with object won. The ship finally arrives safely in the harbor and drops its anchor. Its trip is done. Okay, it shows that its trip is done. The speaker remains as that the trip was difficult and dangerous, but the mission was a success. They have struggled a lot during the time, but their mission was It is very difficult and dangerous, but the mission was success. Victor ship here means the victorious ship, not a ship named Victor. That is victorious ship. Victor ship. Victor ship here means the victorious ship because it's won its object, met its goal. So it is a victorious ship. Is it clear? Okay. सताने का प्रा सता ऐसा भी कर ले. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells, but I with mournful tread. Well, the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. Fallen cold and dead. The last line, that is in the last two lines, that is exult. Exult, feel extreme happiness. Okay. O shores and ring, O bells. That is the those people who are standing in the shore to receive the captain. They don't know the sad news that the captain has died. So they are very happy. They are very excited to receive. And in the shore, they continuously ringing. That is ringing the church bell. Okay, but I, that is the speaker, with mournful tread, mournful, filled with sadness, filled with sorrow. Tread, a step in walking or running. That is, he is filled with emotion, that is feeling sadness, that he walks from that. Walk the deck, my captain lies. Okay. Fallen cold and dead. That is, walk the deck, my captain lies. That is the naval officer in command of a military ship. Here, the captain fallen cold. That is, his body has become cold and dead. And now, the speaker is in the harbor. He calls out the shore and the bells to party down. Since neither shores nor bells are actually alive, this represents the speaker's emotion. Really, though, the speaker uses the shore as a symbol to represent the crowds of people standing there. He wants them to keep cheering and celebrating the homecoming of the ship. That is, homecoming of the ship and the success of the mission. While the crowd celebrates, the sailor remains on the ship, pacing sadly next to his dead captain. Is it clear, ma? Have you understood everything? This is the end of the stanza. Okay. Girls, if you have any doubts, please do ask, girls. Then only we can understand that you have understood something. Like here, I have given you the hard words meaning. That is withered, face, understand with courage. That is rag, that is destruction or collapse of something. Exult, that is feeling extreme happiness. Keel, that is foundation or iron bottom frame of ship. Grim, shockingly repellent, inspiring horror. Wreath, flowers for ornamental purposes. Swaying, that is swinging. Mournful, sorrowful. Tread, walk heavily or roughly. Okay, here in the whole thing, a sailor sings a song. It is not the usual song of a sailor. He is singing a song that praises his captain for leading the ship and crew into the harbor after a long and dangerous voyage. Everyone is on the shore celebrating the safe homecoming when the sailor notices that The captain is lying dead on the deck of the ship. This is an irony of the situation while the crowd on the shore is celebrating, unaware of the fallen leader. The sailor walks mournfully upon the deck where the captain has fallen. Here it represents the ship is America and the captain is Abraham Lincoln. Okay, it is about the death of Abraham Lincoln. Okay, the whole thing he says about Abraham Lincoln and America. Is it clear, ma? Okay, and in this poem he has used the rhyme scheme of in the stanza 1, 2, 3, that is free verse, and alliteration, that is ff, flag, flung, safe, sound, and the repetition, that is refrain, occurs in many times, that is O captain, my captain, fallen and dead. Is that clear, ma? Okay girls, by this your poetry ends. If you have any doubts, please do ask girls, then only we can understand that you have understood something. Please do watch the video. Please do comment in the Google Classroom, then only I can answer your doubts. Okay girls, take care. Thank you. Bye bye. Allah Hafiz.